And Mike Arsenault will be joining us shortly as the 2024 CrossFit Games moves to the strength speed portion of the weekend.
Round number 2, it's going to involve 2 cleans at the first bar at 205 pounds, 1 clean at 215, 1 clean at 225, and the final will be 230 pounds.
What are your go-ruck steps to success?
Grip and rip. This means the athlete's got to approach the bar quickly, get in their setup position, and begin the upward momentum on the weight, whatever it is, as soon as possible. And then power pace. The athletes who can receive the bar in a power clean in the reps throughout this ladder are going to have a huge advantage versus the athletes who have to squat.
Your lane assignments, your first set of 10 coming in from the first round. Couple rookies to keep your eye on. You have Gracie Walton in lane number 9, currently sitting in 8th place overall.
Very impressive chase. This is an athlete early in the season during the 2024 Open. She was 1 penalty away from winning it worldwide, so there's a lot of fitness. She's good at traditional CrossFit mixed modality. We're going to see how she fares here in this clean ladder.
Another rookie making a name for herself this week and currently sitting 6th overall from the UK, Amy Kringle.
Yeah, and Kringle has had some amazing performances to be sitting in 6th overall, coming from a very stacked region, used to high-level competition, and that's exactly, I think, what has helped her throughout the course of these first few days.
10 seconds. Stand by.
Heat 1 is off. The first bar is the same weight as the last bar from round 1. 2 reps at 205. After 205, they'll advance forward to the next bar. It'll be at 215. Shelby Neal taking an early lead. Same thing she did in round number 1 in her heat. Opposite received the bar in a full squat. She'll advance forward to the second to last bar. 225. 225 for Shelby Neal. Last barbell. 230 pounds. And Shelby Neal will do it. And Shelby Neal will take the first heat. We have 20 total athletes, 2 heats, and we'll cut to 10 after this second round. It's Gracie Walton on the right side of your screens trying to hit that last bar. Juan Zhang.
Wow.
Trying to hit 230, Walton will do it.
Great double bounce there by Walton out of the hole. Some athletes do that. Build momentum before they stand all the way up, bounce back down, and that helps carry them through the extension at the top.
Sung Young Choi, the right side of your screen, she'll get through.
30 seconds remaining.
So 5 women left on the floor as Emma McQuaid will get through.
Chase, you talk about temptation here. It's very tempting to pick that bar up too soon.
Juan Zhang will hit the last bar at 230 as Hattie Canyo just missed her attempt.
And that's the hardest part. Holding back and waiting. You got this environment, you got this crowd, you got this music, you got the moment, and it's all pointing like, I'm okay, here we go, I'm ready. And then you're just not ready. A lot of self-awareness and a lot of calculated risk has to take place.
So Shelby Neal will take the heat, and all she can do is sit and watch because you could win your heat here. But if every athlete in the next heat has a faster time, we're only taking the top 10 fastest times here in round number 2.
You're right, but at 44.67, Shelby Neal executed that about as clean as she physically could, and I think that she was fired up about it for that particular reason. Regardless of how this plays out, Shelby Neal started from the very first rep with squat cleans, even at the double bar with 2 reps, and then sequentially all the way through, she did a great job executing the grip and rip. She wasn't worried about power playing a role in her finish. She was worried about receiving the bar in a sound squat and being able to be patient as she kept the bar right over the midfoot all the way through the finish line.
Top 5 results in heat number 1 of 2. Shelby Neal, 44.67. Keep your eye on that time. Adrian, as you said, that might not just be a good time to make the top 10, but maybe one of the faster times we'll see in this group. One heat down, one heat to go, taking on the clean ladder.
That's right, we'll check it out. We're into round 2 now. We already went through round 1. We're into round 2 now. That means they're going to open with a double at 205 and then a single at 215, 225, and then finish with the heaviest bar, 230 pounds.
Your top 10 coming out of the first round. And take a look at Alex Kazan in lane number 4, has one of the heaviest listed cleans of the field.
Chase, she is an athlete that we watch and is physically capable of so many amazing feats. And the biggest question here is, as the pressure builds, can she execute and really show us what she got when it counts?
Now the woman that had the fastest time in round 1, Kyra Milligan, is right there beside her.
Another athlete here that's a little bit biased on the side of where she lies most of her fitness, and hers going to be on the power and strength side, so she's got to seize these points while they're available.
Tia Toomey, overall leader after 5 events, has won the CrossFit Games 6 consecutive times, took last year off, now back in action for the first time.
And I was going to add, Chase, what else can we say? Her fitness speaks for itself, and it does every time she enters the competition floor. It's hard to find her in a situation where we don't like her in the top 5 anywhere, and that includes in a speed clean ladder.
And we're used to success in saying first place event wins, yet she still continues to write her own story and not necessarily surprise us, but still gives us new things to be in awe by.
Stand by.
Second and final heat in round number 2 is off. 2 cleans at 205. Kyra Milligan in the center lane, touch and go in the first round. Power cleans for both. Just to her right in the red, your overall leader, Tia Toomey. 1 clean at 215, and now we move to 225. Tia Toomey on the right, Milligan on the left. Clean for clean. 1 bar left to go at 230 pounds. It's Tia Toomey first. Tia will take the heat at 32 seconds, followed by Kyra Milligan and Alex Kazan. And the time by Shelby Neal of 45, Adrian. We have to see. It got really close there for a second.
Wow.
As Linda Caseman just crosses the finish line, and we said hold your breath and wait. And that was the case of maybe biting some fingernails for Shelby Neal in the first heat.
That's right, Nation. They didn't have to hold their breath long because that heat was over in a blink of an eye. And we could tell early, Chase, all these athletes opened with touch and go power clean. So I was like, okay, this is different. This top heat is approaching this in a completely different way with a different sense of urgency. And we saw that right from the get-go, but it was the champ and the GOAT, Tia Claire Toomey, who led the way early and then finished late. It was her ability to redirect that weight in the bottom of her squat that allowed her to have the edge over the competitors in the field.
Tia Toomey takes the heat as we had 20 athletes in the second round. And we'll cut to the top 10, and Tia Toomey, 32 seconds. Kyra Milligan just behind her, followed by Alex Kazan, are your top 3 times in the second heat. And Shelby Neal is on the outside looking in the first heat. She's down with Mike Arsenault.
Shelby, you're the Heat 1 winner, and it looks like you just barely slid into